2 extra Pop-Tarts.
Inside Batman's head.
Everyone has a piece of media they grew up on that immediately calls up strong memories and feelings. Could be the music they listened to on their summer family vacation, or the old movies they watched at grandma's house when they were sick. But for me, it was that awesome block of syndicated animation magic known as the Disney Afternoon in the early 90s. I grew up with amazing shows like Rescue Rangers and Tailspin. Too bad most licensed video games back in the day were a total drag. But one stood apart, DuckTales for the NES. And the recent DuckTales Remastered is a full-on fangasm of love for both the original game and the show that inspired it, from the presentation to the Unlockables. The game is also a total throwback, and the difficulty and mechanics full-on took me back to being a 90s kid. And I'm taking you all back right with me to my childhood when I complete DuckTales Remastered.
Here comes a new challenger!
Yes!
Danger!
Ah, yeah! What's up, everyone, and welcome to another wild and wacky, crazy episode of The Completionist, where we don't just beat the games, we complete them. Yeah, tubular! The month of February is totally here, which means we're playing remasters, remakes, and ports. And one of my favorite things as a 90s kid is to play one of these bad boys. And this is called an NES cart. And this game is DuckTales. And I challenge you to do it without doing the woohoo thing like all my friends totally did. Now I know you're all thinking, whoa man, this is from the 80s. And you know what? You're right. But here's the thing, I'm a 90s kid. And when you're a 90s kid, you play things from the 80s because it's not that old yet. What's up? Time is a crazy thing, am I right? Boom! But we're not playing the old one. Oh no, we're playing the new stuff, baby. Aw yeah, gamers rise up!
Mighty Max.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
These days, licensed games are in the spotlight. Spider-Man, Batman, even the day Burger King had some games of his own. Some are great, some are, well, Sneak King. But back in the day, licensed games were a big no-no. After E.T. for Atari came out, publishers didn't want to take a risk with licensed properties. But I'll say it loud and proud right here, right now. The NES DuckTales was the first legitimately good licensed game for any home console. Yeah, even better than TMNT. I'll stake my entire pod collection on it. DuckTales the show is beloved for its classic characters and sense of adventure, and the 1989 game did a great job of capturing that. The 2D platformer was tough as nails, with astounding art direction and music. DuckTales Remastered, released in 2013, had me hyped from the very moment I heard about it, bringing back the iconic game with a shiny new coat of paint and a ton of extra stuff. It's about time. Best of all, it seemed like the Remaster's developers, WayForward Technologies, were bringing all their love of the classic show to the game. They knew not to mess with a good thing. The first game was all about Scrooge McDuck trying to gather treasures from all around the world to get even richer, and he's still the same old Scrooge this time around. Cash moves everything around him. The original DuckTales is remembered for its famous move, the pogo. As someone who definitely wasn't allowed to pogo without a helmet and knee pads as a kid, I thought it was rad that Scrooge McDuck could bounce all around the levels like a madman. Remastered brings that iconic move back and keeps the level design the same while adding enough secrets and extra objectives to keep it fresh like Big Willie style. This updated version adds some difficulty levels and achievements. The thing I'm most excited for are the unlockable extras. The DuckTales cartoon was such a big part of my life growing up, and Remastered adds in a whole new gallery of concept art and soundtracks to satisfy even the most diehard Duck. DuckTales is a classic show that every kid I knew growing up watched. The old game showed the possibilities of what a licensed property could be, and Remastered has me more excited than when Stone Cold Steve Austin challenged Bret the Hitman Hart. You all know what I'm talking about. WWF Attitude.
Cheetos.
DuckTales Remastered had me feeling like I was playing an episode of the classic cartoon. Every single aspect of design was considered. This game is a mash note to Disney animation and a full-on celebration of all things DuckTales. I'll be honest, I'm super biased. This channel was built on classic video games, so playing this was a return to form for me, even if the remastered came out in 2013. My plan to complete it was a combination of half-remembered stuff from playing the first game and just running down the list of the added Steam achievements. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. WayForward, the amazing team behind the Shantae series, was the perfect group to revisit the classic DuckTales. They have a ton of experience making licensed games, and every member of the team is a huge fan of Disney. Not just the DuckTales show, but the old Carl Barks comics too. The more I completed in this game, the more I felt the love that WayForward had. There's so much rad behind-the-scenes stuff to unlock. I was bouncing through every hidden corner in a level, collecting gems, bopping Beagle Boys on the head, and smiling like a dumb idiot the entire time. Now the characters are hand-drawn, instantly bringing me back to after-school cartoons. The updated backgrounds are gorgeous and add more delicious Disney flavor to each level. You want to know how far down the rabbit hole the developers went? They contracted the cartoon's original layout artist, Mike Peraza, to work for them. The NES game could have never had this much awesome stuff, and I was basically flipping out over every detail. The game's director said the team spent an hour every day just going over the animations alone. The result is that the characters look like they were teleported right from an 80-pound CRTV in the early 90s to a modern-day flat screen. The music is bumping all throughout, just like in the original. I grew obsessed with the Moon theme, but the updated Transylvania music rocks so much harder than I ever thought possible. Like, just listen to this jam. Turns out there's a reason for this awesomeness. DuckTales Remastered soundtrack is flawless because it was spearheaded by one of the modern video game music masters of our time, Jake Kaufman. You might know his work from Shovel Knight or OKKO, or maybe even a little group known as Big Bad Bosses. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. Whoa, music from the future! I've worked with Jake closely with my band, and I can confidently say that this man is a bona fide living legend. Every track in this game rules, y'all. Best of all, they were able to assemble almost every member of the original voice cast from the cartoon to reprise their roles for this game. A few months into development, WayForward was contacted by Disney, who asked if they wanted any help from the original cast. The devs weren't even planning to have voice acting in the game, but they expanded the story and gave some characters bigger roles, because with an offer like that, how can you not? It's a blast to hear the late Alan Young and June Foray as Scrooge McDuck and Magica Dispel. VO legends, even though there isn't as much dialogue here as a full-length cartoon. Every character from Huey, Dewey, and Louie on up gets a moment to shine, and the voice actors are just another example of how WayForward was fully using every opportunity that made itself available. Even the bosses that block the end of each level have been given an upgrade with new patterns and cutscenes. Flintheart Glomgold, the second richest duck in the world, shows up for an epic plane fight. This easily could have been a sequence taken straight from the show, dueling Scottish accents and all. DuckTales Remastered walks a fine line. It's literally the perfect combination of old and new, and every aspect of the presentation shows players that they're in good hands. The game feels like it's the game that Capcom wanted to make in 1989, a celebration from beginning to end of DuckTales the show and the truly innovative NES game. Whoa, hey! Don't touch that dial. The Completionist will be right back.
Aw man, another lame morning with sawdust cereal.
Whoa! I have been summoned because of terrible breakfasts, but I'm here to help you have fun at breakfast time!
Whoa, what?
Bayonios!
Whoa! The all-new breakfast treat with nutritious Star Puffs and 3-Wish marshmallows.
You know, it kind of just looks like Lucky Charms.
Shut the f*** up!
Bayonios, the all-new treat from TOVG Cereals. Part of a complete breakfast. Can you make your cereal wishes come true?
Breakfast forever! Eat
Eat more. Eat it all. Eat it all. Eat more.
Baonios, part of a complete and balanced breakfast.
Hurry up! Hurry up! Breakfast forever. Forever. Forever.
DuckTales Remastered is not just a feast for the senses, but the mechanics of completing the game itself took me right back to being a 90s kid again. Now I mean this with no disrespect to younger fans of the show, but those of us who grew up with the NES, SNES, and Sega Genesis as their first systems have a different mentality when it comes to games. I almost never had more than one game at a time, so the ones I got, I played the heck out of them. We couldn't look stuff up online because there wasn't an online. Any secrets and strategies were mine alone. That and Dave over on the 800 hotlines. This is all context to place what it felt like to complete DuckTales Remastered. I played the game all the way through 3 times on escalating difficulties, and honestly, this was normal for kids of my generation. We'd spend a morning or even a whole weekend mastering every aspect of a game, drinking nothing but Capri Sun until we couldn't see straight. Now, playing through on normal mode was my chance to refamiliarize myself with this game and knock out some of these newly added achievements. I knew that extreme mode wouldn't be unlocked until I beat hard mode, but I didn't want to just jump right into hard mode. Playing on normal was the perfect learning curve. Remember the pogo move? Seems pretty basic, but this move laid the foundation for Shovel Knight, and what seems like every other 2D indie platformer these days. In the NES game, you pogoed by pressing down and attack on the controller at the same time. In the slightly more approachable remastered version, you can toggle this hard pogo off if you'd like, and activate the pogo with a simple single down press. But extreme mode doesn't let the player do the easy pogo, so I said screw it and just turned on hard pogo from the very start. I love that I was able to give myself a harder challenge in normal mode while also practicing for the tougher stuff to come. But enough about pogos. DuckTales is a classic for its level design and what it brought to the platforming genre, and all this is intact right here in the remaster. Aside from having fun adventures, this entire plot of DuckTales can be boiled down to Scrooge gets money. There's a gallery in the main hub packed full of concept art and character sketches and more, and the only way to unlock everything is to purchase it with money gathered in each stage. The levels are stacked full of gems and secret treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. So if you really want to get to completing, you better bust out your chain wallet and start stuffing it full. In the NES game, you got different endings depending on how much money you collected by the end of the game. The remaster does away with that, but still makes collection of money a priority. One of the rewards for playing the game on a higher difficulty is that money is easier to get because healing items are replaced with more gems. The stakes are higher though, because if you die, you get sent back to the hub world penniless. I found myself having to grind a bit to get this achievement, which was a little annoying. It makes sense though. This game aims to bring back those 90s kids feels, and part of that is collaborating the player when they slip up. In normal and hard mode, if you clear a level, it's cleared for good, even if you get a game over on a different stage. Extreme mode, though, is the true embodiment of Saturday mornings hopped up on sugar cereal at 6 a.m. In this mode, I had to beat the game in one go. If I got a game over, I lost everything. All those things we've come to appreciate from modern platformers, like forgiving checkpoints and maps, are gone. Yeah, it's difficult, but this is the true DuckTales experience. I died once on this mode and lost it all, but rather than getting frustrated, I sat on the edge of my seat, cracked my neck, and said, all right, I am not letting this happen again, and I let my gamer senses take over. The tension built with each level I beat and boss I bounced on, and the final secret level had me sweating bullets. But I prevailed. It felt better than skipping church on Sunday morning as a 7-year-old kid. That feeling of victory is a total throwback to the 90s, and it feels just so good now as it did then.
Make your own gack.
Just like chickens.
I'm I'm not exaggerating when I say that the Unlockables in DuckTales Remastered are some of the most delightful I've ever come across. The completion bonuses in this game are a nostalgic slap in the face for anyone who loves DuckTales. I was able to collect most achievements along the way, and the practicing I did in normal and hard mode paved the way for the perfect extreme mode run. The most time-consuming thing I had to do was purchase all the concept art, but even that wasn't too bad. I had to revisit some levels and grind for money, but it was just another chance to enjoy the kickin' music and some gorgeous art direction. Earning enough money lets you finally purchase everything in the gallery, and it's all worth it. Concept art, hand-painted backgrounds, Jake Kaufman's amazing soundtrack right next to the original chiptune soundtrack. It's a treasure trove, and it's all well worth it. When I completed DuckTales Remastered, there were 3 full playthroughs on normal, hard, and extreme. Highly recommend extreme mode if you want that authentic experience. 20 achievements achieved. These weren't too bad, the most difficult thing being the achievement for buying everything in the gallery. Which reminds me, 152 extras purchased. Probably some of my favorite unlockables ever, especially the character sketches. 15 hours of total playtime, with almost an entire playthrough time-wise equating to just grinding. 23 deaths, but only 1 on extreme mode. And 1 vault full of gold, proving that Scrooge McDuck is the richest motherfucker in the Disney canon, and that includes Tony Stark.
Yo, hey, didn't see you there. You totally missed me slamming some combos in Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. DuckTales Remastered is an awesome game that retains some of the more difficult aspects that the original game did. This remaster is a love letter to the awesome TV show, the awesome game, and overall, it's totally awesome. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of complete it.
Complete it!
That's all the time we have for today, guys, so please, as always, let me know what you thought about today's episode somewhere on the internet.
And I sure as hell don't want to be there.
What the hell's going on here?
Approaching the target.
Something's changed?
What the hell's going on?
これが噂で聞いてたコンプリショニストか。始末してやろうかな。
Hey guys, do you see this? What the hell's going on?
顎ひげを生やしたホームレス。こんなやつトラビスが見たら笑うだろうな。
Is that? Are you Student 51?
よくわかったね。まあ君のノーマンヒーローズのプレイにはすごく感心した。まあそのルックスはちょっといけないけど。まあノーマンヒーローズのもしツアーものだと認めてほしければグラスホッパーの最新作トラビス・ストライク・サーゲンプレイしてね。できる？
Hold on 1 second. What are you saying?
俺からの挑戦状だ。トラビス・ストライク・サーゲンノーマンヒーローズ完全コンプリートしてそのスキルを見せてくれ。君のスキルを証明しろ。
With pleasure. Let's go.